And it looks like we are on. Welcome to Native Nations for our December program. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you'll stay with us the whole hour because we have some interesting topics, and we're going to finish out with drumming. We've got a drum group called Bulls and Bears, so you're going to be hearing them at the end of our program. I'm David Liberty, a member of the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation. And I am here with three guests along with my co-host. Take it away.
Adam Whiterock.
Adam Whiterock, yes. Thanks for coming, Adam. Couldn't do it without you, brother.
I know. Come every time.
And I want to introduce my old Oregon State buddy here. Mitch and I went to school together down at Oregon State. We're both old Beavers. And
Go Beavers. Go Beavers.
Mitch Pond, fellow tribal member of the Confederated Umatilla Tribes. Mitch, thanks a lot for coming.
Yeah, it's good to be here, Dave. It's good to see you. Thanks for having us on your show.
And one of the benefits of having Mitch on the program is he brought two interesting guests with him. So we are going to start the discussion with Linda Mobley on my right here. Linda, thank you for coming.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And Linda's doctor, Sherrie Davis. Dr. Sherrie Davis.
Thank you.
And Linda is a cancer survivor. And, you know, we've had cancer survivors on this show before, but her story is much different. And Linda, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to survive cancer?
Certainly. Thank you. I truly feel that I am blessed with things that have transpired through my cancer experience. I, 9 years ago, had cancer. Breast cancer. I was a business owner down the street here in Gresham, a holistic, all-natural pet food store. And I was single mom, 7 days a week running a business, and was fighting this horrific disease. And I came out, a survivor, and I have a friend of mine that is a writer, and I was planning on writing a book, and he helped me find the title of the book, Blessed with Cancer. He said, you always talk about the blessings. And he's an incredible writer. His name is Ronald Carr. We finished the book June 29th of this year. And at that time, I, 2 weeks later, was diagnosed with bone cancer, stage 4. 7 places. And they told me I had 6 months to live. And this is my 6th month if I did nothing. So obviously I'm here, I'm doing well.
It looks like it, yes.
Thank you. And I went to a Western medicine doctor, Dr. Conlon at Providence, and she gave me a study drug and said, you know, I'd like you to try this, the FDA would like to approve this, and do whatever else you need to do to, you know, better your life, whether it be chiropractic, whether it be holistic. Dr. Sherrie has done an absolute incredible job with me. She's my sister, my spiritual sister. I'm Iroquois Indian and Toppenish tribe, and she actually is, I just feel has totally, well, here's the next piece that I'm kind of leaving out, is 2 weeks ago I was told after a bone scan that my cancer was gone, dead and gone. And so I want to give a lot of that to God and the people that have helped me, Dr. Conlon and Dr. Sherrie. I'm here to tell you, I'm here to be here for a while and blessed with cancer again. She's a blessing. Mitch is a blessing. You're all blessings here in my life, you know. Oh my goodness, yes. Ron Carr that wrote the book. You'll have to read it and see.
Now you had cancer 3 times? Is
3
that how I
times,
understand?
yeah. A year ago I had skin cancer on my shoulder, fought that, so I'm a 3-time survivor.
Wow.
49 years old in January here, and
good for you.
Here to tell you I'm here.
Way to go.
Absolutely, thank you.
Well, how do you explain this?
No, it's a
Dr.
good story.
Sherrie, yeah.
What? Miracle.
How could you survive 3 cancers?
She is definitely a miracle, you know, positive mind, positive thinking,
and just completely changing the way that she does things to make a difference, you know, instead of just condoning to the cancer and saying, oh goodness, I have 6 months to live, now I'm going to die. You know, she is just this person that's such a go-getter and makes it happen, you know. And so when we met, actually, we met at a women in networking event, and I saw her across the room, and we saw each other, and I was like, hey, I got to meet that girl, you know. And so, and that was just like a month before she had called me and said, I have bone cancer, you know, can we talk, can we meet, you know. And so we did, and eventually a few weeks after we met, and I started working on her from day one. And what I do is I practice holistic medicine through hypnotherapy and also through Reiki healing, which is an old, you know, way back version of alternative health through, you know, hands-on healing. And so it's basically a way that, you know, everybody has a way to physically heal themselves, you know, and also others to heal you. And how I did it with her was, you know, we prayed every day during the sessions, and you draw an energy. Your energy is like a magnet, and everybody has an energy vortex, and when the vortex is not correctly working, a lot like the meridian system, and when your meridian system is off, which acupuncturists work with, to, you know, recharge your body back up. And so that's how Reiki healing works. It works to recharge every cell and physical component in the body. And by doing that,
It sure does.
as you see, even our first session, I did some guided imagery meditation with her, and it was just incredible. She was supposed to be having surgery on her thigh the very next day, and they were going in, they took x-rays and the whole 9 yards. Well, the day before that, I had worked on her leg for 3 hours. And so we just worked and worked, and I had her image that I was sanding it away with my hand, and just literally sanding away, and then a wind just coming and blowing it away, and water washing the cancer out of your body. Next day she goes in, scheduled for surgery, and they sent her home. They were like, we don't know what you did, but we can't find any cancer in your thigh. We don't have to do the surgery. And it was just amazing. They were going to put a rod in her leg because the bone was so infected with the cancer. It was in 3 large spots on the thigh and up into the hip. And so by the time I got done with that, it was completely gone. They could barely even see it on the x-ray. And the same thing with the lymph node between the breastbone, where they wanted to do surgery and remove it. Well, we did a 2-hour session on that with Reiki healing and, again, guided imagery meditation. And the next day she was scheduled for another doctor's appointment, and they told her it was completely immeasurable, could not find it.
Immeasurable.
You know, so it's just like, you know, too many people, you know, they put off Reiki healing or alternative healing. But what they don't realize is it's complementary to Western medicine. And how much it can help you, even with cancer. And I do treat quite a few types of cancer, you know, from, you know, breast cancer to bone cancer to leukemia, you name it. And it's, you know, and like I tell my clients, you know, the 100% thing that you have to think about is changing your thinking of how you are dying. Because your mind controls 50% of your health. If you don't believe in yourself, what are you going to get? You know, non-believing. You're going to get sick and ill and, you know, all that. And so with her, Linda being such a powerful, you know, beautiful, believing person of, you know, just inspiration for everybody, you know, we were able to literally remove her cancer within 5 months, you know, before her 6 month was up.
Well, that is great. I know our viewers probably want to know, how did you get your training? How did you come to be a doctor?
Well, I grew up with my grandmother and my great-grandmother, they were Shoshone and Basque, and they were both energy healers and also naturopaths, and my grandmother was actually a nutritionist at the hospital in Hermiston, Oregon. And so I remember as a kid always going in there, and they'd always shoo us away, oh, go, go, go. They were working on people. They didn't want to be bothered, you know. It's a very private thing and very inspirational and spiritual. So, and then later I had a couple of friends that were going through trials and had me go with them, and they reintroduced me to, Reiki healing, energy healing, and hands-on healing therapies. And so I ended up going back to school, getting my education through Celestial Awakenings and the United Methodist, or Universal Life Church in Seattle, which teaches metaphysical healing, and that's where I have my ministry from. And then when I lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for 12 years, I took nutrition and naturopathic and Chinese medicine there for a couple of years. And so it just kind of all blended in together, and here I am. And then I also went to Kona University for my hypnotherapy license.
Kona.
They're Hawaiian college.
I've always wanted to go to college in Hawaii.
Yeah. And so, just bringing all those things together, whether it's nutritional, naturopathic Chinese medicine, to hands-on healing, which is one of the oldest healing methods, from Japan to way back in the Native American days. With shamans, they did hands-on healing, and that's how they healed their people in most cases, And as well as the Egyptians, which documented it in all their, documentaries. They have all these hands-on healing documents that talk about healing with the hands. And there's a few churches around that still do it. And but it's amazing. It's all about your intent and your belief in it, and the client as well. They have to believe that they can heal themselves, because all I am is the conduit of the person that's sending the energy into the body to manipulate it and reactivate and recharge the body again, to remove everything from it, toxicities, flushing the body with the energy. It's amazing what you could do with it.
Now, Mitch, have you been treated by Sherrie?
Yeah, and I've met Sherrie, my classmate from Pendleton.
Yeah.
Just this year. I haven't seen her since graduation, but
a couple years ago, right?
yeah. I don't know how long, 83. So,
Yeah.
but when I have my meetings down here every month, I finally got a hold of Sherrie through one of my classmates, Katrina Burnside, and she did a little test run on me, showed how she did her Reiki healing. So we'll probably do another one. We're going to do a follow-up, but
I know he wouldn't tell me anything, but I found out that he had an infection in his foot. I was like, I see. Because, through energy, you could read the body with your hands, and you could tell what's going on with the body, without the client even telling you what's going on.
Wow. Very good. Do you have any questions, Adam?
Oh no, I've heard stuff like this, like especially with sweat lodge. A lot of times people go in there sick, or they have cancer or some kind of sickness, and you hear about them and you finish it. You do it in a 4-day, 4 sweats, and you hear about them not having cancer ever again, just being treated, and hear stories like that, and sometimes people go, oh, what would you do? How'd you do it? What kind of medicine? It's like, well, spiritual, and also praying. A lot of people, they forget about that. They all this stuff that's happening, with like all the stuff like back then, like diseases, everything had medicine, had everything that you can, not as much diseases, but sickness, and they would pray and they would use medicine. And for me, I don't, a lot of that stuff has been, you don't hear about it anymore, or there's not a lot of medicine man people out there that are doing it, or they either they passed on, or there's nobody doing it anymore. So all our modern medicine is kind of depleting, So like here, stuff like this is really good because it's power of prayer and healing and stuff like that. Because a lot of times, like laughter and stuff is the best medicine, especially for people that are sick. That's why Indian people, we laugh so much. It's because a lot of times we're well, we got some weight on us or something, or but we're happy people. We don't worry about what we look like, or don't worry about what we're doing. Is we always have laughter and goodness in our heart, you know. So that's how I feel about this situation. Is, you know, pray hard and you know. So I mean, it's that's the thing that I hear about all the time is people, oh well, I still have cancer, you know, I did prayers and stuff, and you know, it's back and forth, you know. It's really hard to try and say, well, yeah, if you pray here, that yeah, you'll get cured. You know, it's hard to say that. You know, it's really hard because a lot of times there's a lot of people that have cancer still, and they still are confused on going, well, why can't I still be treated? You know, why isn't there a cure? You know, so in small cases, yeah, like this, you know, yeah, trying to stop in my thought, you know, because it's not like you know, everybody, you know, you hear about everybody that they don't. A lot of them don't get treated, you know, or a lot of them don't, you know, they don't know, you know. Like we went to the lady we had on the show with flutes. You know,
C.C. White Wolf, yeah, from
the
Native People Circle of Hope.
So we had her on the show, and you know, she talked about, you know, her survival, you know, stories, and you know, and so yeah, there's people out there that share their stories, and a lot of people that don't, you know. So that's I'm glad you're here today, you know, sharing the story, because a lot of people they don't share their story, or you know, even you know, write a book or something, you know. So.
Well, Linda, have you heard of the Native People Circle of Hope?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a wonderful cancer support network, and it's not just for Native people, it's for anybody who has cancer. And they do some great things for cancer survivors, especially when people first get cancer, find out they have cancer. That's when they really need the support to find out what to look for, what's it going to be like, you know, what will I go through. So we're really glad that we have CC around to help people out, and she's a fellow tribal member. You know her, don't you, Mitch? Yeah. She was an attorney here, and when she got breast cancer, she gave it all up to start this foundation, the Native People Circle of Hope.
Beautiful.
And now it's expanded, and they've got chapters in 30-some different states, and it's really been exciting to see that change and grow since we had CC on several years ago, I think when our studio was at Mount Hood Community College. So she's been doing it a while. The unfortunate thing is, last time she was on the show, she revealed that she just got diabetes recently. So we keep CC in our prayers.
Well, I think Sherrie needs to work on her
Yes.
diabetes.
That's a plan.
That's right.
Exactly.
We'll get you two in touch with each other.
Well, you know, the day that you talked to me about her, I was looking at my computer, and right at that moment, somebody forwarded me her information. So it was just like a sign from God saying, oh, I do need to call you.
Yeah. Well, I hope
You know,
you do get
so
together.
yes, definitely. Yeah, exactly. We
Well,
will.
have you had any sickness or illness that you've been healed from?
I have. I actually had uterine and ovarian cancer when I was 35. And so I did all alternative health. You know, I did 18 treatments of chelation, which is a free-form amino acid that fights off free radicals in the body, and it detoxes the body of any heavy metals or toxicities. And it put my cancer in remission, and then I did surgery and removed it all, and I've been cancer-free for 10 years. So.
Great.
You know, so I can completely understand, you know, and relate to women and, you know, almost anybody that goes through that trial with cancer and that fight of, you know, dealing with it, knowing, you know, having it myself. And then also that same month that I was diagnosed with it, my grandmother had passed away from the same cancer.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, good for
so,
you, and congratulations for beating it.
Oh, you bet. I know. It was just, you know, like Linda when we met, and she told me about her story, and I thought, wow, that's so much like myself, you know. We just connected and had such, you know, such like minds. It was just amazing. And because I too, was very positive and was not going to let it, get me down. And so I just kept positive the whole time, and like they say, the brain illness, it's all about 50% of your thinking and how you think about your illness, on whether you're going to recover from it or get worse or just give in to it.
Absolutely.
And for my case and Linda's case, we just didn't give in. We were fighters and said nope. And we both had young daughters, single parents. And my daughter was 14 at the time, and Linda's was 10, so real close in that age, and being single parents. And, so what do you got to do? You're either going to lay down to it or you're going to fight it and, recover. So, it's not just about a miracle, but it's all about how you think.
Absolutely. The mind is very, very powerful. And you brought up a nice little piece here. You said people just don't really talk about it. And I know in the Native American, as I was brought up, my great-grandmother lived on the reservation. And as it went on down from my great-grandmother to my grandmother to my mother, you don't talk. I mean, my nickname was Little Mouse growing up in school. I didn't speak. I didn't talk a lot. It was very little, and it's very, it's secretive and quiet, and there's a lot of, things you didn't talk about. And so after I had the breast cancer, I thought, you know what? I am going to speak out. I'm going to share, and I do. I share with women. Women share with me in relation to the dark. Well, matter of fact, my book signing, a gal whispered to me June 29th. She said, I really wanted to make it to your book signing. One of my prostheses deflated, and I'm glad that I'm here. I almost didn't come because of that. I mean, this is really a personal thing that, for someone to share at a book signing. She says, do you know where I can go to get some help, to get another one? And I don't have insurance. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to speak out, is for women that don't know where to get resources, they're afraid, they don't, that's something very personal to them, and, being able to have resources, like, as well as opening our minds to, like Sherrie's holistic medicine. I mean, a lot of people out there think, we have to go through Western medicine. Well, that's nice. I have some of that, and I have some of this. It's a nice balance. So keeping your mind open and being able to talk and share. And if I didn't share and talk, and I'd stayed quiet, and like in my upbringing, stayed the little mouse, guess what? I wouldn't have, been open-minded to Dr. Sherrie and her healing. And so it's good to be able to get out there and share and help other people.
Well, I'm sorry we missed your book signing.
Oh, me
When was it? When's your next one?
Exactly. Well, you can go to www.blessedwithcancerthebook.com, and that has a list of events of our next ones. We have a couple fundraisers that we're going to have. One February 14th at the Benson Hotel called Dance for the Cure. So there's one there, and if you go on, again, the website, list of events, you can see where the next book signings are. And I would love for you all to be, you've been to one, Mitch?
Mitch can dance?
Yeah,
All right, I got to see that.
Get a little hold down.
That's right. Yeah.
Square dance. So it's a dance.
Dance for the Cure, actually, at Benson Hotel, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Basically, there'll be Fred Astaire Academy there, a couple other academies. It's a surprise, so you guys will have to stay tuned to Facebook, too. We're on Facebook.
I need a lot of tips to do that ballroom dancing. I don't know much about ballroom dancing.
Well,
Wear your powwow stuff.
powwow.
There you go.
Exactly. Dance for the Cure. We didn't say what kind. Tap shoes. Two-step it. Exactly.
Yeah, well, good. And what was the website again? Linda?
blessedwithcancer.thebook.com.
Thebook.com.
Thebook.com. Or on
And
Facebook, I'm sorry.
when did it come out?
The book came out June 29th.
Oh, yeah.
Ron Carr and I were able to release his incredible writing. We have more people share with us that it sounds like a third-party writing, like you and I are having a conversation and someone over here is listening to the conversation. And that's a really unique way of writing. And I'm trying to talk him into a second book, Blessed with Cancer again.
Well, tell us a little about your co-author.
He's a great guy. Oh my gosh. I'd like to say friend first. When I was involved, actually I was invited to an organization called the Executive Officers Club in downtown Portland at the Mac Club. And it's for business owners, higher end entrepreneurs. And Ron Carr actually was one that followed up with me. He was in charge of memberships, and he followed up with me and asked me, what I thought. And I said, well, actually, I'm in the process of writing a book. And he kept tabs as a friend and kept tabs on me in the book. And every time he ran into me, he'd ask me about the book and how it was coming. And I said, well, actually, it's not. And I've been working on it for 9 years. I had somebody else writing it a little bit. And anyway, he kind of flaked out. And Ron stepped up. I mean, he is a man of character, and he's an incredible writer. You're going to have to read the book to see.
He got you to buckle down and get it done.
Let me tell you. Oh my goodness. Every Monday at 4 o'clock, we met for 4 years, and he sat there and he'd hand me Kleenex, he'd hug me, pat my, he'd make me, reassure me it was going to be okay. Because it was tough. The book isn't just about cancer. It's basically about surviving life. And my story is no bigger or better than anybody else's. Everybody has a journey and a story and hardship and good times and hard times. And I happened to open up and share mine, and it was good. It was healing, and he helped me in that healing process. And I'll be forever grateful, because there's many things that, he said, Linda, we got to put that in the book. And I'm glad we did.
Well, good.
Thank
well, thanks.
you.
I wanted to give Ron a little kudos here since he was the co-author.
Give him a lot of kudos.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron Carr.
Yes. Well, before we go on and talk to Mitch a little bit, I know we're going to get to Mitch, I guarantee. Linda or Sherrie, is there anything that you want to tell our audience that we've missed tonight before we move on?
Well, ladies, get your mammograms for the breast cancer part. I'm a breast cancer survivor, and
self-exam.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you're feeling anything, man or woman, in your body, you're feeling funny, go, get a blood test. Go get checked. Don't ignore it. And be open-minded. Be open-minded to, of course, Western medicine, holistic medicine. Be open-minded and keep, if you find out you have something, life-threatening, grab your bootstraps. Fight. It's worth a fight. It is worth it. My daughter said this last time, she said, Mom, because when I was diagnosed, I turned and said, what would you like me to do? And she says, fight for grandkids. And I said, oh, I haven't done that yet. So, okay. So, be on top of it. Know your body. Be positive in your mind. So,
very good.
Get a book.
Thank you. Sherrie, do you have anything else that we may have missed?
Oh, yeah, like Linda's case, it's all about your mind, how you're thinking, and, stay positive no matter what the fight is. And, Linda and I will be out. We've actually partnered together to, go out there and educate people on cancer,
Exactly.
be at every event that we can possibly make. I mean, there's only 2 of us, so we can't do it all, but, but we'll try, it's all about education and, letting people know whether it's alternative care to, what are your chances? What is it that you're looking for to improve your life, whether it's holistic or practical medicine, and so we're just out there fighting for the cause, and making it happen.
Well, good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, let's move to our first guest.
Mitch.
I'm sure glad you came, Mitch. Now, Mitch is involved with the Columbia River Intertribal Fish Commission. He's the commissioner from our tribe, the Umatilla Confederated Tribes, the Umatilla Indian Res. And you do that part-time. You have other work that you do too, Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
But tell us about your involvement in the fisheries here in Portland.
I've been with the CRITFIC, we call it, the Columbia River Intertribal Fish Committee. The 4 tribes, Umatilla, Yakima, Warm Springs, and Nez Perce. It was formed in 1977 we call it Zone 6 on the Columbia River from Bonneville Dam. Well, actually the mouth of the Columbia, clear up to Walla Walla, the Walla Walla district, called the Corps Engineers. But really it covers the whole basin, the Columbia River Basin. It goes clear up into Canada. So yeah, this is my 4th year at the commission, and we're down here for the holidays. We just had our holiday party today. Santa Claus showed up even, so yeah.
Ho ho ho!
Dave was the Santa Claus today.
But don't tell anybody. Now that everybody in Portland knows.
Told on him.
Yeah. Blow my cover.
Yeah, but we cover a range of issues in the Columbia River. You work at StreamNet, the library, based on the fisheries stuff, and we got public policy. We got Spirit of the Salmon, the PSC, the Pacific Salmon Commission that we cover. We cover it each month. I come down every 3rd week and Thursday and Friday every month. So we're just based right down by the convention center. I heard Davis Washings this morning opening up the meeting, and he says, we sing we sing the songs, we open with a song and a prayer, and we do this for the silent majority, they call it, and that's for the salmon. We got to speak up for the salmon
and all the animals.
Yeah, and the rest, and a lot of we're doing our new Wakanishmi Wakishwit, they call it, the Spirit of the Salmon, and it's our mission statement and our vision statement and our kind of a river vision for, in that a lot of it in that is the first foods, and it's kind of a first foods philosophy. It's kind of the laws of as the season goes along. Eric Quimp does a presentation. He's got a framework that our tribes are looking at adopting, and like I said, it's as soon as the first foods come in February. It's just like an Indian New Year coming up on December 20th. It's renewal. It's where the light turns around, the sun turns back. It's the shortest day of the year, and that's coming up on Sunday, and that's from there on. The light's our life. Lights the land and the water and the and our animals, but the silent majority, like Davis was saying, they gave themselves to us, and we always have to pay respects to them, and like I said, all animals, and our roots and our berries. We're hunters and gatherers, that's what our tribal people are, and but yeah, it's been 4 years. Just a comment with Linda. I met Linda maybe 2-3 months ago. And I thought I was just going to lunch with Sherrie, and we had lunch for sure, but all of a sudden these people start coming in this little cafe down in Vancouver, and that's where I met Linda in her cancer, and I'm just glad I was glad to meet her, and her being able to survive, and just watching her and meeting her at that book signing. She was always positive, and that's the first thing that I noticed about her, and for her to fight through all those, all these years, and it's kind of getting a concern for Indian country, cancer. We just lost one of our elders to cancer that was on the commission this last month, and you know, where is it from? Is it the toxics? Is it Hanford? You know, up the downwinders we talk about. But cancer's it's getting bigger, and it's getting into our people, and you know, we're really concerned about it. And you know, stories like these, you know, it's good to hear that there's survivors. And
Oh yeah.
and then with you know, Sherrie and her healing stuff. I think it's kind of her Indian stuff that comes out in her, you know. I know she goes out and blesses houses, and you know, that's what we do as Indian people as well, you know. You know, funerals are healing, kind of like a wintertime now. We do the healing ceremonies, the medicine dances and all that. But I kind of see that in Sherrie, and how she's able to, you know, work with people and spiritual stuff, and the spiritualness that, you know, that's how we are identified in our own homeland, where we are, who we come from, and you know, what we are. So I just wanted to comment on those. And
Yeah, good. We should have started out with that. But that's okay. Because we can get back to the Fish Commission. Just
okay.
briefly, I wanted to ask, what is the hot topic for the commission these days? What's really big in the Fish Commission?
A couple of hot topics. We got a fish company that all our 4 tribes agreed upon. It's going to be an LLC in just across river at White Salmon, Washington. It's a fish processing center that hopefully we're going to get up and running. We're trying to look at the spring. We've been doing ice for our fishermen, all the fishes on the river, but that's coming next year. And
Good.
we finally cleared all the hurdles to at Condit Dam. Also by White
Right
Salmon.
upriver from the processing center.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the biggest dams that are going to be removed in the Northwest, and it's going to bring back the natural flows of the river to I think it's the Klickitat River there, and
It's the white salmon.
yeah, it's the White Salmon.
Salmon
Okay, yeah, the
River.
White Salmon River, and that's coming in. It's probably going to be in November of next year, 2011.
Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I, because I live in Hood River, I would testify at some federal hearings that they had over Condit Dam,
No.
and would suffer the snide comments from the people who, when I talk about removing dams, you know, they have these little giggles or whatever they do to make it sound like I'm the idiot. But Condit Dam is going down, so
Yeah.
that's a real victory.
Yeah. So.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, then the others, probably heard about the Ninth Circuit repealing the sea line lethal take.
Oh yeah, the lethal take
Yeah,
is
the
no
lethal
longer
take,
allowed.
Yeah, they're going to give us another chance to address us in the NIMS, National Marine Fisheries Science. They're going to let us do another opinion on it, and hopefully that the judge will have a better idea of what they didn't really explain themselves, I guess, at the court ruling. So hopefully we can get that back. And you know, the sea lions they're ocean, but they're coming up to Bonneville, and more of them are coming. And there's under endangered species, and that's kind of the hurdles that we had to jump through, and you know, just to get it passed. So
Yeah, it was hard to get it
yeah,
in the first place.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing that's kind of challenging is you got all these dams, you got all these power companies, you got all these people, and then after that you got the sea lions, you know, like you know, eating the salmon and wiping out a whole bunch of salmon. And that's the thing, like, you know, well, we're put on this earth to protect, you know, our life, you know, our food supply, you know, and so, you know, like they had them for just capturing them and then put them back in the water. They'll just come back, you know, keep on coming back, you know. So it's like kind of like the thing of like, well, either they let them wipe out the whole race of salmon, and then, you know, I don't know if you ever tried sea lion or sea whatever it is, but
Well, they bioaccumulate in their fatty tissue all the toxins of everything that they eat.
Yeah.
So I was told to never eat a sea lion.
yeah. So what does the government want us to do is to have them wipe out all the salmon, and then for us, we can't eat sea lion. We got to save the salmon somehow, and that's by protecting the salmon, because that's the number one thing that's like on the list of foods that are, I mean, I'm not from here, but I lived here, but that's the number one thing. You go to, used to live in Lummi, and you go up there, and everybody has salmon, canned salmon. They go out and get a whole bunch of salmon, and they share it with the whole tribe there. That's the thing. Like that's like the number one thing that when you protect is the salmon. And even though it's it's a lot of breeds of salmon have died out because of that. Because of dams and trying to repopulate. And there's these things that eat them, so it's kind of hard to say, going back and forth. People say, oh, you can't kill the sea lion, you can't, but in reality is they're just going to keep on coming back.
Yeah, it was a real tough decision.
Yeah.
And it's been argued a lot, but it's one way to cut back on all the take.
Because it shouldn't be their way. It should be how we're living, how the Indian people are living, because this is what we would do. You say something like that back then, sea lions come in and kill it. Well, yeah, they would kill the sea lion to protect the salmon. Simple as that. But now it's like, cruelty and everything like that. But it's like, I don't know, they invaded the salmon. So it's not really anybody's fault, but it's not the salmon's fault.
One of the things that we kind of overlook is the impact that sea lions have on sturgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's come to find out more recently that they're taking a lot more sturgeon than we knew about, because the sturgeon hole up right there below Bonneville Dam, where the sea lions are hanging out all the time trying to stop the salmon from going up the ladders. So that's the other impact is on the sturgeon.
Yeah, it's the stellar sea lions, they call them. They're the ones
big
that,
ones.
Yeah, they're bigger. They're the ones that are taking out the sturgeon. And a couple topics at home. You heard about the buffalo hunt that we're going to start in January.
That's great.
We're going to go up to Montana.
Are you going?
Yeah, we're going to get a little.
All right,
we're going to do
good,
5-man.
Mitch.
We're going to do 5-man teams.
Next time you're on the show, I want some buffalo jerky.
There we go. And then, of course, we had our first fisheries at home in a lot of our smaller tributaries since the 1980s. And our supplementation programs, our hatchery programs, it has allowed and habitat improvements. It's allowed our salmon to be able to come up into places that we haven't been in. Grand Round River,
Great.
Lostine, Tucannon, Imnaha rivers, and then we had our first had our first salmon fishing at Walla Walla, and we haven't done that in 70 or 80 years.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
those are some of the good stories, back at home. So
Great.
just wanted to mention those.
Glad to hear it, Mitch. Well, you guys, we're running out of time here at our end of the show. So we are blessed to have a drum group come in tonight. Adam, you could probably tell us more about these guys. Why don't you introduce them?
Well, oh, there's Bulls and Bears.
Bulls and
come over
Bears.
every powwow that I've been to, they've been there.
Right from Wall Street, huh?
Yeah. They sing very good. They sing proud, so I like the way they sing, and we're soon to hear them drum for us.
Well, thanks a lot for coming, Bulls and Bears, and we're going to swing the cameras around, and we're going to put you guys on. So we probably got time for about 3 songs, so take it away, Bulls and Bears. Yeah, why don't you talk into that mic and tell us a little about the song and the next song you're going to do.
That song we sang is a powwow song. We're a powwow drum group. We travel mostly around Oregon and Washington. These are our social gatherings. And we've been singing together for, I've known Ian for about 10 years, and I'll let everybody introduce themselves. But this drum was given to me by Jack Johnson, so just about 8 months ago. And so this is my first drum I've had. And so with it comes a lot of responsibility. And I came up with the name, Bulls and Bears. It's not a traditional name. It's a reference to the economy, like you said, Wall Street. It's something that I can identify with because I got my master's in financial analysis, and I've been working in tax for almost the past 6 years. So my name's James Smith, and I'm Yankton Sioux. I'm also Warm Springs. And I'll let these other guys introduce themselves.
My name's Pierre Halsey. I'm Standing Rock, Lakota from South Dakota.
My name is Ian Manheimer. My Lakota name is Ian Hokshi. I'm a Lakota as well.
My name's Jeremy Barney. I'm Burns Paiute in Mojave.
My name is Chaz Norcross. I'm Ojibwe and Grand Ron.
This is my son, Harry Smith. He's enrolled Siletz with his mom. His mom's Siletz. We'll sing another song. This is another straight song. It has a slower beat. It's intertribal, or maybe we might sing it for, maybe a women's traditional category at a powwow.
Oh,
if you can just rest up for a second, I wanted to make a little announcement about an upcoming event, and then we'll use you guys to go out and finish the show. We've got a benefit for the Longest Walk. You guys remember we had our guest on the Longest Walk. This benefit is happening January 15th, and it is a live hip-hop MC, DJ, turntable, electro scratch, live art, and 5 artists. Yeah, it's a hip-hop, B-boys, B-girls, beatbox competition. Music by variable guests, sponsored by the American Indian Movement Portland chapter. Art show and dance and fundraiser to benefit the Longest Walk. It says, let your inner Spelii out. Spelii's coyote. There'll be live art by D'Angelo and Rains and Relic. This will be at 4739 Northeast Couch Street in the gym. And they say you take bus 20 to get there. It's a clean and sober, drug and alcohol-free event. So support the Longest Walk and help fight cancer. All right, we have just a few minutes here left in our show and enough time for another good song by Bulls and Bears. So thanks a lot for watching Native Nations. This was our December show, and we'll be back the third Thursday of January. 6 o'clock, Channel 11. So take it away, Bulls and Bears. Thanks again for coming and providing some good songs.